So when we talk about various adaptations, they can be divided. Sometimes see them divided into three groups, which would be structural adaptations, behavioral adaptations, and physiological adaptations. Physiological and structural are oftentimes very confusing, so sometimes you'll see them just divided into either it's physical, a part of the organism, or it's behavioral, something that they do. And so we have the top four of these are physical, the bottom four are behavioral. And so when we talk about allowing some animal, this adaptation allows some animals to blend into their surroundings to protect them from predators. Of course, we know that that is camouflage. And then substances such as venom, ink, or a spray like a skunk used by the prey to repel or make predators not want to get near them. Or it could be some ways to get food. That's a chemical defense. And so chemical defense on that one. Looking or sounding like another organism to avoid predators is mimicry. If you mimic someone, you're copying them. Mimicry. We could have divided it into physical mimicry, meaning like, let's say it's a king snake and a coral snake. One is poisonous, one is not, but they look so much alike that predators will leave both of them alone, even though only one of them is poisonous. Structures like claws, beaks, fins, armored plates like an armadillo, scales, gills, teeth, anything structural that allows the animal to find or consume food, to breathe, to move in a particular environment. These are under the category of body coverings and parts. These are structures or things that help them, so they're definitely physical. So these four words, along with these four explanations, are going to go on to page 66, and I'll show you how in just a minute. The bottom four are behavioral adaptations. An inactive state like a deep sleep that certain animals enter to survive the winter by lowering their metabolism. That's called hibernation. Any action, add the word action, that's a mechanism that gives prey an advantage against predators are called defensive mechanisms. For example, playing dead like a possum or rolling up into a ball like an armadillo. Those are things they do that are defensive mechanisms. So those would be behavioral adaptations. The way that an organism moves, like if it can run really fast, that's called locomotion. So how an organism moves, like a snake slithers, back and forth. That's how it moves. That's what the word locomotion means. The instinct to travel from one place to another and back again to ensure the survival of your species, that's called migration. There's lots of things that migrate. There's whales that migrate from the really cold waters toward the equator where it's warmer when they have their babies, because their babies don't have that layer of blubber to protect them, so they would die if they didn't migrate. Butterflies migrate. Birds migrate from the north to the south in the winter and then back again. These four things will be going on to page 67. So when we set up our journal, on page 66 at the top, you're going to write physical adaptations, and then if you have wide ruled, you're going to count 6 spaces. So from this line to this line is 1 space. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, draw a line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, draw a line. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, so you're going to have 4 separate sections. If you have narrow or college ruled, you'll count 7 spaces. Then you're going to glue these on the bottom of the line and as close to the edge as you can get. So this is your explanation. Above, you're going to write the word. You're going to choose different fonts or different ways to write it so it'll help you remember what it means. And then you're going to draw a picture that has at least 3 different colors and label it. So I drew a walking stick in a tree. So here I labeled tree, I labeled stick bug, and then my caption or my explanation for my picture is hidden stick bug. Okay? So you're going to do that for each one of these. So here's where I glued it. Here's where I mimicry. I wrote it like this because it kind of looks like a copy of it, so that helps me to remember it. You're going to use these 4 on these, and then on the other side you're going to write behavioral adaptations, and you're going to do the same thing, glue them as close over here as you can. Above them you're going to write, for example, hibernation would be up here. Then you draw a picture that is an example of an organism hibernating. So for example, how an organism moves. Don't draw me a picture of a car. A car is not an organism, right? So, but you could draw me a picture of something else moving. Label, picture, at least 3 colors, and a caption describing what is in the picture. This is going to be part of a major grade when I grade your journal. So that's 66 and 67.